Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Knitting Hobbit Podcast. My name is Rut. I'm a knitter based in the Netherlands and I share all of my knitting stuff here. First of all, I really want to thank everybody that that commented and just had a really nice response to last week's video, which was me talking through my Q of 2023. It got such a good response, and yeah, it really made me very happy to read all the comments and see that everybody enjoyed it. So thank you very much for that. And if you're new here, you're very, very welcome. This is a knitting podcast where I talk about everything that I've knit. Sometimes, although it's been a while, a little bit of spinning, and I sometimes sew as well. I have a new kind of secret sewing project planned again in the future, so I'm thinking of filming that. If you'd like a kind of like sewing vlog, then leave a comment down below so I know that you guys are interested in it. Yeah, let's get started. I don't have many projects to share today because I've been knitting pretty monogamously. So there is 2 finished objects and 1 whip that I can share. There actually are 3 finished objects, but one of those is a secret, so I cannot share with you. It is very secret, it is hidden away, it's over in my bedroom. But once it releases, I will definitely share it with you guys. So first of all, I am wearing, I just looked up the name. I think it's called Punia Sweater. This is a sweater that my mom knit for me. I had the yarn in stash and my mother, she was looking for a project because she likes to knit, but she never really wears knitwear herself that much. And she didn't have any inspiration for something she might, need or give someone. So she asked me for a project and I just grabbed one out of my queue for her. And she likes projects that take her a while. So this is a fingering weight pattern with all over color work, as you can see. And the yarn I got for it was Istex Eindband. It feels similar to Let Lopi and Alafos Lopi, but it is much thinner. It's about fingering weight, like it blooms up to a fingering weight. Similar, I think, to like the way it acts. It's similar to Holst Super Soft because that one is very thin when you knit with it, and then when you wash it, it will bloom. And this one did as well. And I think it does look lovely, but I have a couple issues with this pattern. As you can already see, the fit is kind of weird. The fit of the yoke, it's just not it. And I have a couple of round yoke jumpers and I usually don't really have many issues with them fit wise. I know some people do, but I usually don't. But this one, it just fits weird. So here it tends to bunch up like that, and then in the back you do short rows, but as you can see they just pucker. And my mum is a pattern follower. I am very easy, I'll just change things up and do stuff like that, but my mum is a strict pattern follower because otherwise she's afraid that it won't turn out right. So I know that she followed the pattern by heart, but that resulted in some not so nice looking short rows. And I've blocked this sweater now multiple times trying to get the short rows to even out. I've stretched it, I've pinned it, everything, but there's just no way to get that completely lying flat. And even when I stretch my shoulders forward or back, it's just always, and even on top of my shoulder here, it's got a bit of a weird thing going on. So yeah, well, I want to love this sweater so much and I'm so grateful that my mom wore it. There's just a couple issues, I think, with the yoke design. But it is a really nice and warm sweater, but still really thin. So yeah, I'm also not sure about like if the colors look good on me, because it's a little bit of a lot. But yeah, I do like the look of it. I'm just a little bit unsure, and yeah, all of those reasons just add up to me not wearing it enough, I think. Yeah, what can I say? Let's get on to happier thoughts and show you my finished objects. So over the holidays, just before Christmas, I was home sick for a week, and then just at Christmas I got better. And then I was off for a week from work between Christmas and New Year's, which was really, really nice. I really needed the time to just sit and chill and knit and just don't have an alarm on and, you know, have zero obligations. I just had a couple days where I had to do something. Yeah, and even my New Year's Eve, it was just me at home on the couch eating sushi, watching Grey's Anatomy and knitting. So I loved it. And I finished 2 projects, well 3, but one is the secret one, in that week. So one, I think I showed it. I just started it and it flew off my needles. So I started while I wasn't feeling too well. And then, oh, I see I need to wash it now. There's some like food stuck in it. Oh. And then the other one was a test knit. That the secret one was a secret test knit that I had done for the most part. I'd done the yoke and the sleeves and like the start of the body, but I just needed to finish the body. And then the last one just needed some sleeves. That was an old whip, I think from last spring, maybe May somewhere. So yeah, first off was the one that absolutely flew off the needles, and it is this one. Oh, one sleeve's inside out. So this is the Wild Posey by Melody Hoffman. I will link all the patterns below to Ravelry. If you can't access Ravelry, please leave a comment down below or message me on Instagram, and I will gladly tell you whatever you want to know about it. So this is the Wild Posey by Melody Hoffman, and I knit this in a really, really lovely yarn. It is mohair tweed by Yarbo, and it's from their Yarbo Select range, and it is a yarn that is spun in Donegal, so it's a Donegal tweed, and it has, I believe, 30% mohair, 70% merino wool. And I have to tell you, this yarn, once I blocked it, it got so incredibly soft. It is, it's so nice. I really love wearing this. I've already worn this to work. It hasn't really fuzzed up, as you can see. It's got the tiniest bit of a fuzz, but nothing near like a mohair halo. I think it will fuzz up a little bit more with wear and maybe with another wash, you know, and just with use and time. But for now, it is really lovely. It feels like nearly rustic, but it's still so soft and so nice. And even though you don't see the beautiful patterning of the Wild Posey pattern in it that well, I still think it is a really, really pretty jumper. Yeah, what do I have to say about this? The Wild Posey has 2 versions. One that has like a lacy detail at the top of the yoke and at the bottom of the textured yoke. I just did the lacy texture at the top, but it didn't really, the way she does it, I've done this kind of lace. It's like the one on top, then 2, and then 1 at the bottom. Very standard. But she did it in a different way than I feel like I normally have to do it. And you can't, I don't think it's the best way to do it. In the vernaculars, I think it's done a little bit differently if my memory is right. And that one just shows up a little bit better. But otherwise, I really loved doing all the textures. There is some wrapped stitches. There's some like one stitch that you wrap multiple times and then cable it kind of textures. And yeah, it is just a really nice jumper. For me, it ended up really light. And I am very happy with it. This one will get worn a lot. Yeah. Then we have the festival sweater. This is a sweater by Petite Knit. And I've mainly seen this one being knit for kids, but I absolutely love the pattern. And she also made a my size version. So that is this one. This is the festival sweater my size. And can I tell you, this is one of the coziest sweaters that I own. It is so lovely and nice, but it does have this really nice design detail with the little, I'm calling them fairy lights, because in the color that I did, they just remind me of them. So it's like my fairy light sweater. The fit is really lovely. It's got short rows in the back that lie gorgeously flat. And yeah, it doesn't have much other shaping. It has a little bit of decreases in the sleeve, but for me, I haven't remeasured my gauge, but either my gauge was off or she has really wide sleeves. But I did a bunch of decreases in the just before the last little stripe. So it's kind of balloon sleevey, and now the cuff fits quite nicely around my wrist. And I'm really happy with how this fits. It's got a good length. The sleeves are a nice length. They will like sit at my arm like that, but I can easily pull them over my hands and they will stay there as well. Like I don't have to stretch the fabric to get that done. And that's what I love having for a sweater. I like to be able, I get cold hands quite often, especially having an office job. So I like to be able to pull them up just at like my knuckles so that my fingers are still free for work. But then that will keep my hands a little bit warmer. The yarn I used, that is, the grey one is Fiber Tales yarn. I think that I bought this in 2021. I'm not sure. But a while ago, like not the most recent release. As I said, this is an old whip. So I think I bought the yarn in 2021 because I did another testing in 2021 with the other color. Yeah, 2021. And this was a DK release. And this was the lighter colorway. She sold the lighter colorway and the darker one. The darker one, oh, I actually have that cardigan night. The darker one I knit a test knit with. This was a test knit for Skeindir, for Ellie, and this is the, oh, I'm completely blanking on the name, because back when I knit this it didn't have a name yet. I think, I don't even know, she called it something like the vintage cardigan or something like that. I can't remember. I feel like it's called something like Austritt now. I'll put it down below or on the screen if I bother to edit this video. But yeah, I knit this with it, and it is such a warm and nice cardigan. And the yarn is Gotland, and it really fluffed up really nicely and got quite nice and soft. And this one hasn't fluffed up quite as much yet, but I think with more wear it will definitely get there too. Because it's already a little bit fluffy. My experience having knit both of these with the Fiber Tales yarn is that it's a really nice yarn. It has made Gotland one of my absolute favorites because it's so nice and warm, but it's still quite light. So when you knit this, it will look quite thin. Again, similar to this sweater and to like Hose Super Soft, it will look quite thin. But then when you wash it, it just blooms so gorgeously and fluffs up absolutely amazingly. So I absolutely love the Fiber Tales yarn. I think she's working again now to make a new batch. And I'm thinking of ordering again if she puts it up. And I would like one of each again, because I love both of these colors. And I can definitely use more grey always. Because it goes with everything. And the yellow is from Ulcentrum. It is I think it's officially like the sport weight, but it works absolutely fine in this. Maybe if you had like a plump DK, the little like fairy lights will come out more, but it's already, I think this isn't bad or anything. It doesn't look like the yarn is too thin for this effect. So, and I honestly don't know the name of the color. I bought this yarn in a kit a while ago I bought a kit from Trollewool. And, what's my train of thought? I bought a kit from Trollewool and then I knit it and these were leftovers. That was the whole story. The yellow was the leftovers and I still have a bunch left over. But I think less than 50 grams, so it's not bad. So yeah, 2 new sweaters that I absolutely love, and I've already been wearing them, and they will both get so much more wear. Really, really happy with them. I'm going to pause for a second, take a sip of my water, and then we're on to whips. So, on to whips. And if you watched the 2023 plans video, it is already out of the window. Demolished. Gone. I am going into a bit of a test knit craze. So I just finished a secret test knit. I currently have a test knit on the needles. And next week yarn will arrive for another test knit. So yeah. And the yarn that has yet to arrive has an insanely quick deadline of the end of this month. So 1st of February I think is the deadline, or no, not 1st of February, I think it's like the 5th of February. So I got a couple more days than the end of this month. And I thought, because the dates were written in American way, so first the month and then the day instead of day, month, I thought the deadline was in May, and I was like, oh, that's great. That's a really long deadline, but then I can finish this test knit and then start that one. But it turned out to be February. So I'm going to have to knit 2 sweaters in 2 months. Both test knits. The designer did tell me that the really quick deadline isn't too much of a worry. So the plan is to get as far as I can on this one. And then when the yarn arrives, cast on the quick deadline one. See how far I can get before the deadline. On the day of the deadline, just send whatever feedback I can send of however far I am. And then go back to this one. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, the first one that I have already started and I'm really, really excited about is the Lanark sweater. This is a design by Rebecca from the Bea podcast. She is a Scottish podcaster and is naming all of her patterns after places in Scotland, which if you've watched this for longer, you may know I used to live in Scotland, and I've been to Lanark, and I think, isn't Lanarkshire like a thing as well? Been there a ton, like in the Lanark surroundings. So the name also just gives a ton of memories for me that are really fun to me. And next to that, if I were to live in Scotland, I would totally want to have this jumper. So this is a zipped jumper that I'm knitting in black, and it is all over half fisherman's rib or half brioche. I'm knitting it as half brioche, which took me a while to get into because I just finished the Advent shawl and I was so stuck in my head with the full brioche that while I was knitting on the collar, which you knit first, I kept going into full brioche and then I had to go back and do half brioche. So that was a bit confusing, but I finally got in the rhythm. So what you do is you knit the collar, and then you take the stitches, you like fold it over, it's a double folded collar. And then you take the stitches at the back and you cast some new stitches at the side, which I think is a really fun construction that I haven't done yet. So then you knit the back, you do some short rows and standard back stuff. And then you pick up stitches along your cast on for the back, and you start knitting the front with some short rows. And what I did is after I finished the short rows on both sides, I put both sides on my needle at the same time, so I could knit the two fronts at the same time, because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't like counting rows. So that way you can just keep on knitting and just measure, and when you get to the measurement, just continue with the next part of the pattern. You don't have to make sure that the other side matches up perfectly with the first side that you did, which for me, it's just personally, it's great. And then you join in the round, and I am now working on the body. So it is a bit of a slower knit. I cast this on the day before New Year's Eve, so the 30th of December. And then I got to knit a lot of it on it that weekend, and I knit on it during all of New Year's Eve. And yeah, there's just some fuzzies stuck to it, which I think will be the downside of picking a black yarn. So first, I cast this on with a completely different yarn, which I shared in my pants video, is that I cast this on using Drops Soft Tweed, I think it is called, and I didn't rip it out yet so I could show you. But this was the fabric in Drops Soft Tweed. Really lovely, but the gauge is just way too big, and it is a little bit confusing to me because everybody is knitting this sweater in a DK to worsted weight yarn, and I couldn't get gauged with DKs. Well, it was way too large, and I went down to a 3mm needle size, which for me is really tight with a DK yarn. And I just wasn't enjoying knitting it because it was so tight. And then I decided to grab this yarn from my stash, which is the Istex Camp Yarn, which is 100% merino yarn from Istex. And it is about 150 meters per 50 grams, so 300 meters for 100 grams, which on Ravelry says it's a sport weight yarn, but I think it will work in DK patterns as well. And it's so much better. So I'm here with a Sport 2 DK. Well, everybody is up a yarn weight. I'm not sure what's up with that, but the fabric that I ended up getting with it is really nice. I'm still knitting this on 3mm needles, I believe. Yeah, 3mm needles. And I believe right now I'm just one stitch below gauge, but with a good soak this will stretch out quite a bit, so then it might be a little bit over gauge, but we'll see, because this of course will have the weight of the sleeves on it as well, so I think that this top part especially will stretch quite a bit. but we will see how that will work out. I think it will be fine. Rebecca's sample looks really, really lovely. So I'm totally trusting it. I think it will be great. Now, I thought I grabbed them. This is going to be a zipped sweater. So I ordered some zippers that I thought I had grabbed. Is it in the blanket? No. Let me look for the zippers and I will be back to show them. Okay, found them. So here in the middle, it will have a zipper until here. So I think that will be like about here it will go somewhere. And I couldn't choose. So I'm using a black yarn and I really, really adore black combined with rose gold. Like my actual watch is like rose gold and then my band is black. I love that color combination. So I ordered a rose gold zipper, but I feel like this one is a bit more coppery, maybe rose gold, I'm not sure. I couldn't really choose or settle on it, so I also ordered a silver zipper. And yeah, I'm just not sure which one to go with. I think both will look great, but which one would look better? I am thinking the rose gold. It will be a nice little touch of color, but silver would be the safe option. So yeah, thinking of rose gold. What do you guys think? These are really nice zippers though. They're like full metal. I was so scared that I would be ordering shitty zippers. Because these are too long also, by the way. I didn't look at the measurements correctly, but I will fudge that. I'll fix that. I will cut them or something. I'll figure something out. What was I saying? Yeah, I was really scared I ordered shitty zippers because I was like, I'm going to have this all over textured hand knitted jumper in a really, really nice yarn that I think will last me forever. And then I'm gonna have a zipper that's gonna be broken after 2 weeks. That was like, I was so scared of that. But these feel nice quality. And when you zip them, they just sound decent. I don't know. They're full metal as well, so no plastic things. Yeah, happy with those. I'm thinking I'm going to do the rose gold. This one will come in handy for something someday. Maybe I'll make another one. Or a non-textured version like the one Petite Knit has. That might be nice as well. We will see. I've been on such a ramble about this sweater that I don't know if I told you guys everything I wanted to say. I can't remember. I think I must have. I talked so much. And I think just lying open like this, it's got such a nice like V-neck shape. But then when you're cold, you can just... And it will be so nice and warm because my neck gets cold quite a bit. And since this is double layered of a really squishy fabric, because it's half brioche, this is going to be so nice and warm around my neck. It's going to be so nice. Anyway, that is all I wanted to talk about. So I think if I have time next week, or maybe tomorrow, and then I'll prep it for next week, I will film a Everything I Knit in 2022 episode, which most people have already uploaded, but better late than never, I thought. And they are a lot of fun to do. I also did one last year, and I really enjoyed doing that. Maybe I will, at the end of this video, I always have like video suggestions up. I will put last year's one up there in case you're in a mood for watching something like that. And then hopefully next week there will be an updated one. And then in the week after, I hope to be back with a podcast episode where I'll have my new testknit casted on and God knows what else. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. Tell me what you are working on, because I always love to know, and I love to get all the inspiration from you guys. And again, thank you for the comments on last week's video. It was really, really nice. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye bye.